So you're telling me that after all this time, Mykelti finally spoke out? She's really breaking her silence about what Robyn did? Yeah, besties, it's finally happening, but it's way more emotional and complicated than anyone expected. Welcome back to the channel. Buckle up because this one is messy, revealing, and honestly, kind of heartbreaking. For years, fans have suspected tension between Mykelti Brown and Robyn Brown, but no one really knew the truth until now. In a new bombshell statement, Mykelti is calling out Robyn for manipulating her, using her for control, and turning her into a weapon during some of the most chaotic years in the Brown family. Let's go back for a second. Mykelti has always been known as the loyal daughter, the one who tried to see good in everyone, even when things between her parents, Christine and Kody, were falling apart. She was the one caught in the middle, trying to stay neutral when Christine left and when the family split into sides. But according to her, that loyalty was something Robyn used and twisted. In her recent statement, Mykelti said that after Christine's departure, Robyn started reaching out to her more than ever. First, she considered it was an act of kindness to keep the family connected. But slowly things changed. Mykelti says Robyn began sharing details about other family members, confiding things that made her feel obligated to take sides. And here's where it gets intense. Mykelti claims Robyn would call her late at night, crying, saying things like, "You're the only one who understands me. Your mom has turned everyone against me." That's heavy. Because according to Mykelti, those conversations weren't about healing, they were about control. She says she finally realized Robyn wasn't just looking for comfort, she was manipulating her feelings about Christine. Put yourself in that situation. Your mom on one side, your dad's wife on the other, both tugging at your loyalty. Mykelti said it took a while to catch on that those emotional discussions weren't innocent. They were manipulations dressed up as vulnerability. And that's when her words get really powerful. Mykelti said, "I thought I was helping her. I thought I was the bridge between them. But really, I was the pawn." That one line broke the internet. It's because it is something so many fans have been saying for years, that Robyn plays the emotional victim while pulling the strings behind the scenes. Let's remember, this isn't the first time Robyn has been accused of using emotional tactics to control the narrative. Former insiders and even some of the Brown kids have hinted at it before, but Mykelti speaking out changes everything. This is the first time one of the kids, someone from the inside, is confirming what fans have suspected all along. She explained that the more she tried to please Robyn, the more distant she felt from her mom, Christine. "I started defending Robyn even when I didn't believe her," Mykelti later admitted. "I thought keeping the peace meant keeping quiet." That line, keeping quiet, is huge because it shows silence as part of Robyn's control. Mykelti said Robyn would praise her for being the only mature one, the peacemaker, the good daughter. You can see how that works, praise mixed with guilt. It's classic emotional manipulation. Fans have started calling this the loyalty trap. When someone uses your empathy to make you feel responsible for their pain until you forget your own boundaries. That's precisely what Mykelti described. She said it took months, maybe even years, to realize that Robyn wasn't protecting her. She was using her as a shield. Whenever things got tense between Kody and Christine, Robyn would somehow bring up Mykelti, saying things like, "Well, at least Mykelti still loves the whole family." Mykelti said that kind of talk made her feel pressure to keep proving her loyalty, even when it meant betraying her own feelings. And at one point, Mykelti said something that really stuck with me. "I thought being loyal meant choosing one side, but real loyalty means choosing truth." That line hit hard, because for years, Mykelti has been painted as the one who stayed close to both sides. But now we're seeing what that really cost her emotionally. And if you listen to the tone of her voice in that interview, you can tell she's not angry. She's tired. Tired of pretending everything was all right. Tired of being used as a middleman between grown adults who couldn't handle their own drama. Now here's where it gets even more shocking. Mykelti shared how after she started pulling back from Robyn, things got awkward fast. She alleged that Robyn stopped reaching out, stopped showing up, and even made passive-aggressive comments during family calls. Mykelti said she came to the realization that her relationship with Robyn was only as valuable as long as she was useful. That's manipulation at its core, connection which relies on compliance. And now with Mykelti speaking out, fans are saying this could be the biggest shift in the sister-wives family dynamic since Christine left. Because once one person breaks the silence, it gives others permission to speak too. In this second part, we are going to break it down point by point exactly how the influence of Robyn permeated the family, what other members have quietly hinted at behind the scenes, and how this could completely reshape the Brown family's public image. Because if Mykelti's words are true, and everything points to them being real, then Robyn's hold over the sister wives' world might finally be breaking. So after Mykelti began to distance herself from Robyn, subtle things started changing. According to her, family conversations became tense, and certain people in the family began treating her differently. Mykelti didn't name names, but she hinted that Kody's tone toward her shifted too. He started defending Robyn more aggressively, and anytime Mykelti questioned something, she was accused of being influenced by outsiders. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Mykelti said she noticed that anytime Robyn was criticized, someone else in the family would suddenly get blamed for causing drama. And who always got in the middle? Mykelti. It was like Robyn had created this invisible web where everyone fought each other, and she was quiet, looking like a victim. It has been referred to by fans online as Robyn's sympathy circle. The idea that she positions herself as the one who gets hurt the most, so everyone feels guilty for calling her out. Mykelti said it took her a while to realize that this dynamic wasn't normal. Anytime I spoke up, Robyn would start crying, she said. She'd say I was breaking her heart and I'd feel horrible. But eventually I saw the pattern. She cried to control. That's a bold statement. She cried to control. But think about it. It does fit with what other family members have implied over the years. Christine once said that conversations with Robyn always ended with guilt. Janelle mentioned that conflict never really got solved. It just got buried under emotional pressure. Mykelti even said there were moments when Robyn would bring her kids into conversations as a way to deflect blame. Like, you're hurting the family, or the kids don't understand why you're being cold. Classic emotional leverage. And it was that made this all so hard for Mykelti, because as a mother, she didn't want to hurt children. She said that for a time she felt that she needed to protect Robyn, even when she didn't agree with her. She would tell me she's scared of losing the family, Mykelti says, and I felt like I had to be her voice, to defend her. But what I didn't realize was that I was being turned against my own mom. That's where the emotional damage really comes in. Mykelti described how Robyn would make comments about Christine that sounded caring on the surface. Things like, I just wish your mom could see how much she's hurting everyone. Or I hope she learns to forgive. But underneath, those words was a very different message. One that painted Christine as selfish or unstable. According to Mykelti, the goal wasn't to reconcile, it was to reshape her perception. To make her question her own memories and loyalties. She wanted me to believe that my mom's decision to leave wasn't about freedom, but about pride, Mykelti said. And that's the hardest part, because once you realize you've been emotionally manipulated, it's not just anger you feel. It's shame. Shame that you didn't see it sooner. Shame that you helped spread the narrative. She said she even found herself repeating Robyn's words to others, trying to defend her. I'd say things like, Robyn's just misunderstood, or she's trying her best. And every time I did, I felt a little less like myself. Eventually, she reached her breaking point. Mykelti said one day during a phone call, she told Robyn directly, I can't do this anymore. Instead of understanding, Robyn allegedly turned the conversation around, making Mykelti feel like she was abandoning her. That, Mykelti said, was when she realized this wasn't friendship. It was dependency. She needed me to feel bad for her, she said. Because if I didn't, she couldn't keep control. When that clip of Mykelti talking about manipulation hit the internet, it went viral basically overnight. Fans flooded the pages of Reddit and TikTok with old sister wives clips, connecting dots, replaying scenes and analyzing every time Robyn cried on camera. People began to say, we've seen this behavior before, but now it finally makes sense. Some pointed out that even in the earlier seasons, Robyn managed to make every conflict circle back to her, even when she wasn't involved. It's as if she built her power on emotional chaos. And that's exactly what Mykelti said next. Robyn thrives when people are divided. She shared how, at the time Christine was leaving, Robyn was quietly pushing her to wait things out, rather than supporting her move. Mykelti says Robyn told her, if your mom comes back around, we can fix this family. But, in actuality, Robyn wasn't trying to fix anything. She was just trying to preserve her position. Well, think about it. The more divided everyone is, the more Robyn becomes the central figure. being the one through whom everyone has to get to Kody or keep the peace. It's a very subtle yet powerful means of control. Mykelti said that realization was heartbreaking. She wanted to believe Robyn cared about her. But when the family fell apart, Robyn wasn't there. "She didn't call to check in on me," Mykelti said. "She only called when she wanted to talk about herself." By this point in her story, you can tell Mykelti isn't trying to be dramatic. She's just processing years of manipulation and emotional exhaustion. Her tone is calm, not bitter. It's like she's finally piecing everything together. And that's what makes her words so powerful. Because she's not attacking Robyn, she's exposing behavior that's been hiding in plain sight. Now here's the kicker. Mykelti said there are others in the family who feel this way and are too scared to say it publicly. She didn't name names, but already fans are speculating in the comments. Could it be Aspen? Maybe even one of Robyn's older kids who's starting to see through the patterns. In part 3, we go deeper into the aftermath. How this revelation is affecting the family now. What insiders say about Robyn's reaction. And if this could finally be the catalyst for the other sister wives to speak up too. Because if Mykelti's breaking silence is just the beginning, the next wave might completely change everything we thought we knew about this family. But after Mykelti's confession started making its rounds online, the whole sister wives community lit up in a wildfire. Every fan page, every gossip account, and every podcast was talking about it, but inside the Brown family, another kind of storm was going on. The silence wasn't peaceful anymore. It was that kind of silence when something is about to break. But according to people close to the family, Robyn wasn't taking it well. She stopped answering messages from producers, refused interviews, and even told a few relatives that she was done being everyone's villain. The damage, however, was done. The words of Mykelti hit the internet hard, and already fans were digging through old clips, piecing together every tear, every argument, every subtle manipulation Robyn ever pulled on screen. And as they did, something strange started to happen. More and more people came out of the woodwork with their own tales to tell. Former neighbors, distant relatives, people who claimed to have attended the same church as the Browns all those years ago. They all had one thing in common. They talked about how control, guilt, and loyalty were always part of Robyn's pattern. Then came the leaks. Someone, no one knows who, sent screenshots to a fan page showing what looked like private messages between Robyn and one of the older kids. In them, she allegedly hinted that Mykelti was being dramatic and manipulated by outside influence. Whether those messages were real or not, it didn't matter. The narrative was out there. Mykelti, on the other hand, kept mum. No new interviews, no follow-ups, no reaction posts. That very silence only made everything louder. People started to wonder, was she being silenced again? Was someone warning her to stop? Or was she holding something back? Because there's one thing everyone agrees on. The tone of Mykelti's final words in her last interview sounded unfinished. It sounded like the beginning of something much bigger. She said, "I've told my truth, but I haven't told everything." That one line struck a chord in me harder than anything else. What else could she be hiding? What truth was too dangerous to say out loud? And that's when the whispers started, whispers about an event years ago. Something that involved Kody, Robyn, and one of the kids. Something quietly covered up and never mentioned on camera, let alone explained. Some fans claim that's what Mykelti meant, while others think it's something even darker, a secret that could completely destroy what's left of the family's image. The more you listen to people close to the Browns, the more it sounds like there's a fracture inside the family that can't be repaired. Robyn's silence isn't peace. It's panic. Kody's absence isn't privacy. It's distance. And Mykelti's quiet isn't fear. It's power. Because she's the one who knows everything. The messages, the recordings, the conversations that never made it onto the show. And according to an insider, there's a reason she hasn't spoken again yet. She's waiting. And I am just waiting for that right moment, and something to happen where the truth comes out, and much bigger than like a post or interview, something public, something final. And if that's true, then what's coming next isn't just another interview or social media post. It's a reckoning. The kind that doesn't just expose someone. It ends them. The question now is, when Mykelti does finally speak, will the world be ready for what she says? Because if what she's hinting at is real, then this story, the one we thought was about family, love, and faith, might actually be about control, silence, and something far darker. And the next time we hear from her, it might not just be words. It can be proof. ChatGPT said, "The storm didn't calm. It grew louder." The Brown family was unraveling one secret at a time, and what once looked like a reality TV fairy tale had turned into a slow-motion collapse. Mykelti's silence after the interview was deafening, but it was Robyn's quiet that was even louder. She wasn't defending herself. She wasn't denying anything. She was watching, calculating. People close to the family started to notice strange things. Phone calls between siblings were suddenly short. Group chats went silent. There were whispers that certain members of the family were told not to talk, that some things shouldn't be discussed publicly. But that's the thing about silence. It only works until one person decides not to play along anymore. Days after Mykelti's words started trending, a source inside the production leaked something huge. Unused footage. Scenes that never aired, moments cut out to protect privacy. One of those clips reportedly shows a tense argument between Christine and Robyn, with Mykelti crying in the background. In that clip, Robyn is heard to say something like, "You have no idea what I've done to protect this family." That line hit like a bullet. What exactly had Shedden? Protect them from what or whom? The fans went wild. Theories were blowing up everywhere on Reddit, Twitter, and TikTok. It was emotional manipulation, some said. Others whispered about financial control. A few intimated that Robyn had far more influence over the production than anyone would have ever imagined. That she didn't just shape the family dynamic, she shaped the story. Meanwhile, Christine kept silent. No denial, no defense. And that silence coming from her was chilling. Because Christine has never been afraid to speak, unless what's coming next is bigger than anyone expects. Rumors started swirling that Mykelti wasn't done talking. One insider said she's been keeping a journal for years of notes, screenshots, saved messages, documenting everything she saw and felt since the family started to fall apart. If that's true, she's sitting on a treasure chest of truth that could destroy the entire Sister Wives image forever. And there's more. A source close to the crew says a major network executive has reached out to Mykelti privately about doing an exclusive special. Not our union, not a tell-all. A full sit-down documentary, her version of the story unfiltered. If that happens, it won't just be Robyn's image on the line. It'll be the entire Brown legacy. You can feel it now, the tension, the fear, the anticipation. Everyone's pretending things are normal, posting smiles, sharing family quotes about forgiveness, and moving forward. But the air is thick with secrets. And the ones who have the most to lose are the ones staying the quietest. Something's coming. Something none of them can stop. Because when one person decides to tell the truth, it doesn't just expose lies. It unravels the power that kept everyone quiet. And Mykelti? She's no longer afraid. She's not the peacemaker anymore. She's the detonator. And when she finally speaks again, it won't be gossip. It won't be tears. It'll be proof. Cold, undeniable, dangerous. And so we wait. For if the whispers spoken behind the scenes are true, this story is not over. It's merely paused, for now. But when the silence breaks, it might not just shatter the Brown family. It might end it.